Endlessly seeking wisdom is the path less chosen yet most fulfilling. In our lives, certain elements resemble seeds. We plant these in quietude, shielded from prying eyes, allowing them to thrive undisturbed. Here, the Stoic philosophy comes into play. It instructs us to nurture and develop our inner selves quietly, without the rush to exhibit our progress to others. The Stoics, philosophers of renown, were aware that not all should be disclosed. They treasured their secrets, triumphs, and teachings, recognizing that overexposure could diminish their true value. Each happiness and sorrow, every instruction and trial contribute to the narrative we craft. Sharing indiscriminately may lead us to live less profoundly. Just as a flower needs untouched tranquility to bloom, our personal growth necessitates solitude, a domain where we can reflect on our faults and successes and determine the most fitting path forward. Choosing not to disclose something isn't about concealment, it's about safeguarding. Genuine growth is achieved by striking a harmony between what we reveal and what we preserve for ourselves alone. In an era fond of showcasing everything, discerning and valuing the unseen efforts behind our successes can be daunting. In this video, we will delve into 11 topics that we advise you to keep private. Each one holds significance, so ensure you watch until the video's conclusion to understand their importance. The relentless quest for knowledge is an infrequently chosen path, yet it yields the greatest rewards. In our existence, certain aspects are akin to seeds. We sow these discreetly out of view, to let them burgeon without disturbance. This is when Stoic wisdom proves invaluable. It guides us to discreetly foster and strengthen our inner selves, without the immediate need to display our advancements. Stoics, esteemed sages of antiquity, understood the importance of selective sharing. They cherished their concealed insights, accomplishments, and learnings, knowing that too much revelation could devalue their essence. Every triumph and tribulation, every lesson and obstacle form the chapters of the epic we author. Oversharing can dilute the depth of our experiences. Like a blossom that needs undisturbed peace to mature, our personal development too demands seclusion, a sanctuary for introspection on our blunders and victories to chart the correct course ahead. Withholding aspects of our lives isn't about secrecy, it's about protection. Authentic maturation stems from finding equilibrium between what we divulge and what we keep solely to ourselves. In a time where exhibitionism is the norm, it can be a challenge to acknowledge and appreciate the effort behind our achievements that remains out of sight. In this presentation, we will explore 11 specific topics that we suggest you keep confidential. Each is critical in its own right, so remain engaged until the end of this presentation to grasp their relevance. Secondly, refrain from discussing unconquered challenges. On the Stoic journey towards enlightenment and moral excellence, each stride held profound significance. The detours and impediments were not just hurdles. They sculpted the spirit, molded integrity, and imparted wisdom on the essence of magnificence. It was not the overt accomplishments that mattered, but rather the personal contests, typically unseen, that gauged an individual's fortitude. But given the significance of these trials, why did the Stoics counsel against speaking of the challenges we have yet to surmount? Their discerning understanding of human behavior provided the answer. They contended that vanity and hubris could obscure our insight, rendering us oblivious to genuine merit. An excessive craving for outside approbation and acclaim could indeed act as a shroud concealing our true capabilities. Achievements paraded as emblems did not resonate with Stoic values. They sought genuine honor in deeds that uplifted humankind, endeavors founded on principles such as justice, benevolence, and sagacity. To them, true riches were not found in the luster of gold, but in the glow of an ethically sound character and a peaceful spirit. Embracing one's destiny was a cornerstone of this philosophy. Stoics did not wallow in misfortune. They embraced both success and setback with composure, mindful that life's rich mosaic is interlaced with events that often elude our command. Thirdly, avoid boasting about your acts of kindness. Visualize a candle quietly illuminating a dim space. Its glow is modest and unassuming, yet it brings warmth and light to all it touches. To the Stoics, kindness resembled this flame. They posited that authentic benevolence didn't necessitate public declaration or grand announcements. It ought to be an earnest and discreet act, born from a pure wish to contribute positively, without any anticipation of commendation. In contrast with today's culture of self-promotion, this Stoic view might seem unconventional. The Stoics understood the perils of transforming compassion into a public display. Parading our charitable deeds can shift the focus to seeking transient adulation. By keeping our good works private, we grant ourselves a profound interval for contemplation and stillness, a moment of deep self-connection where we scrutinize the sincerity of our intent. This concealed self-reflection acts as a springboard for self-betterment. Central to Stoic thought was the conviction that genuine kindness does not pursue recognition. It is embodied in sincere and understated gestures of empathy. This enduring insight envelops us, reminding us of an essential truth. The most significant gestures of goodwill are those extended without any expectation of reciprocation. Fourthly, refrain from discussing your bitter feelings. Imagine being ensnared in a tangle of emotions, each strand a lingering grudge, a grievance that stubbornly persists. Stoicism prompts us to ponder the unseen burden of such resentments. For these philosophers of old, to bear a grudge was akin to an anchor, hindering the soul's voyage across life's waters. Consider instead a path less frequented, where pardon and insight are our steadfast allies. This viewpoint is rooted in an enduring commitment to moral excellence and self-mastery. Ponder this. Have you ever endured the strain of carrying a load for an extended period? Have you experienced the fatigue, exhaustion, and animosity it brings? This load is a concealed shackle that confines us, curtailing our liberty and inner calm. Resentment often arises from misapprehension and can entrap us in a cycle of acrimony. The Stoics advised us to probe the reasons behind others' deeds, to comprehend prior to passing judgment. Forgiveness is thus not merely an act of kindness, but a deep-seated wisdom that deciphers the enigmas of the human spirit and liberates us from the fetters of negativity. Anger and resentment are insidious toxins, flames that engulf our peace and contentment when nurtured. Conversely, by adopting forgiveness and comprehension, we discover a haven of tranquility and contentment. Stoic teachings thus remind us of an overarching truth. Forgiveness is the linchpin of personal liberation. It is a lighthouse that navigates us through emotional tempests towards the sanctuary of calm. Embracing this precept reveals that sometimes our greatest might is found in release, in unshackling ourselves from the chains of yesteryear and charting a course toward a future filled with empathy and peace. Fifthly, keep your most profound aspirations to yourself. Picture a precious, fragile seed cradled in your hand, symbolic of your innermost dreams and highest hopes. How would you shield it from the fierce gales and tempests that might hinder its growth? The Stoics impart a guiding principle. They regarded our ambitions and dreams as these treasured seeds, meant to be sown in the nurturing sanctuary of our being, away from the tempestuous scrutiny and judgments of others. Who among us hasn't experienced the snuffing out of a dream's flame by the frosty breath of doubt or the scorching mockery of derision? In Stoic thought, self-reliance is extolled as a precious stone. True enlightenment, true achievement isn't an accolade to parade but a perennial spring within oneself. The pursuit of ephemeral external validation pales in comparison to the wealth and purpose found in our own mental haven. The Stoics understood the fine distinction between commendable ambition and vanity. Opting to remain quiet about our lofty ambitions wasn't timidity, but a conscious act of modesty, steering clear of the hubris that can often obscure our path. Ultimately, the Stoic teachings resonate with a profound truth. It isn't necessary to trumpet our dreams for all to hear. Rather, we should nurture them privately, allowing them to bloom in their quiet, dignified splendor. This act of preservation is an invitation to tap into our inner fortitude and to acknowledge that sometimes the greatest treasures are those we hold close and reveal to none but ourselves. Sixthly, don't broadcast your future intentions. Consider a chess grandmaster. Their maneuvers shrouded in silence while adversaries strive to predict the forthcoming play. Such is the Stoic way. They recognized that by disclosing each step they intended to take, they might become vulnerable to the unpredictable currents of others' evaluations, which can carry criticism, jealousy, or worse. Stoicism extols the principle of self-reliance. Why seek the transient cheers of onlookers when true fortitude exists within one's own mental realm? By keeping their strategies private, Stoics were not merely hiding their intentions. They were bolstering an inner resolve, immune to the fluctuating views that surround them. This approach naturally leads to the practice of humility, an understated yet potent attribute championed by Stoics. Broadcasting ambitious plans might be misconstrued as boastfulness or an overture of dominance. In electing restraint, they found the equilibrium between drive and modesty, ensuring their actions were firm but not pretentious. The Stoic teachings thus offer a nuanced understanding of the importance of maintaining one's counsel. It instructs that safeguarding our objectives involves more than mere tactics. It is an affirmation of our independence, a tribute to our autonomy, and a commitment to move through life with unassuming confidence. In a society that often equates worth with outward success, Stoicism counsels us to seek internal validation, to follow our personal compass, and to advance with assurance and discernment. Seventhly, keep your doubts and uncertainties to yourself. Envision navigating a dense forest where each tree symbolizes a doubt and every shadow cast embodies uncertainty. Rather than broadcasting your hesitations, you choose the quietude of self-reflection, searching within for enlightenment. This aligns with Stoic practice. Stoicism teaches us that assurance is not a spectacle for public display, but a private luminary leading the way. Vocalizing our uncertainties to all is akin to subjecting a beacon to a deluge. It might be snuffed out under the downpour. By holding firm within ourselves, we achieve the resilience necessary to stand unaffected by external appraisals and verdicts. Humility, then, is more than a surface trait. It acts as armor safeguarding our inner being. Hence, divulging every doubt can erode the soul's nobility. Choose judiciously the confidants with whom you share your vulnerabilities. While the world often seeks resolutions amidst noise and chaos, we must recognize the value of silence and inward contemplation. It is believed that answers to profound inquiries often echo in the serene alcoves of the heart and intellect. By retaining certain uncertainties within, we foster deeper contemplation and a closer bond with our core. In essence, Stoic insight offers invaluable counsel amid waves of uncertainty. No need exists to declare your doubts for all to hear. Through embracing quietude, humility, and deep contemplation, we carve a secure passage through the labyrinth of uncertainties, navigated by the inner light of our self-assurance and discernment. This is the strength found in hushed self-reflection and the personal conviction handed down by Stoic sages. Eighthly, refrain from speaking ill of others. Criticizing others is akin to casting stones into a tranquil lake, causing disruptive ripples that disturb its serenity. The Stoics recognized that engaging in judgment and censure diverted attention from their internal introspection, squandering precious energy on matters beyond their sphere of influence. Rather than pointing fingers, the Stoics chose to offer a helping hand. They steered themselves with empathy and compassion, understanding that each person is a universe unto themselves, replete with internal and external struggles, joys and sorrows, triumphs and setbacks. Criticizing others would signify a failure to appreciate the depth and intricacy of the human experience. They also comprehended that criticism, instead of fostering connections, often erected barriers in the pursuit of tranquility and unity. Thus, they realized that harsh words and hasty judgments did not lead to peace, but rather discord and division. Stoic wisdom imparts a resounding and timeless message. We must be guardians of our words and thoughts. Instead of fixating on the flaws of others, let us turn inward, seeking our own growth and moral excellence. In a world where criticism flows freely, Stoic teachings urge us to embrace understanding, acceptance, and kindness, casting stones of empathy into the lake of humanity and appreciating the waves of positivity they engender. Ninthly, abstain from discussing your moments of solitude. While many endeavor to occupy every moment with activity and interaction, the Stoics drew strength from tranquility. They did not perceive solitude as an emptiness to be filled, but rather as a haven where the mind could roam freely, liberated from the constraints of others' perspectives. Contrary to popular belief, the Stoics did not spurn solitude. They embraced it during their periods of withdrawal. They did not feel isolated, but rather connected to a profound inner cosmos brimming with insights. It was within this quietude that the most profound musings surfaced, untainted by external clamor. In today's milieu where seeking validation through social media holds great sway, Stoic philosophy prompts us to reassess these priorities. By veering away from the incessant need for public exposure, we unearth a space where our spirit can breathe. It is within this profound silence that we encounter the harmony of our essence, a melody that requires no dissemination, but only to be felt in its purity and authenticity. Tenthly, avoid discussing lessons yet to be learned. Few things are as universally human as making mistakes. We all falter, we all err. However, it is in our response to these failings that our true character is unveiled. For the Stoics, these moments were not occasions for despair, but for revelation and growth. Many of us in modern society feel compelled to project an image of flawlessness. We showcase our triumphs and conceal our defeats. Yet the Stoics present a different approach. Embrace mistakes not as a testament to weakness, but as a guide for personal development. By opting to keep their unlearned lessons private, the Stoics were not attempting to evade their responsibilities or conceal their shortcomings. Instead, they sought shelter for a profound and intimate process of introspection. Each failure was perceived not as a conclusion, but as a commencement, a new chapter in the perpetual pursuit of virtue and wisdom. Just as an artist integrates a mistake into their creation, the Stoics transformed their failures into cornerstones for advancement. In a world where oversharing and excessive exposure are prevalent, the Stoic standpoint serves as a reminder of the value of introspection and the dignity of silence. Lastly, refrain from disclosing your profound plans. Understanding that there is no necessity to broadcast your intentions to the world is a potent asset. The Stoics comprehended something that many of us overlook, that discretion is not a sign of weakness but of strength. It's fascinating to ponder how Stoic philosophy offers a different perspective on handling our ambitions and the power of keeping certain aspects of our lives private. The emphasis on nurturing dreams in a safe environment and the recognition of the potential held within silence are thought-provoking concepts. The notion that true magic lies in quietly achieving our goals is a compelling idea. The video discussing anti-Stoic habits sounds intriguing, and I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on it after watching.